Okay, we're a couple minutes after the top of the hour, so we'll get things started here and move this party along. Welcome to Live on ServiceNow's Discovering Digital End User Experience. We have a packed agenda today, so we're going to get started and dive right in. Couple housekeeping items before we move on. When you have a question, please use the Q&A tool rather than the chat. That way, if we can't answer your question during the call, we can follow up with you after and still get your question answered. It also helps us keep track of what the questions are and what answers we had, and we have the option of answering them live during the presentation or the demo. We'll post a recording of the session to our community site so you can come back to it in the future if you want to review anything we cover. And finally, please provide your feedback in the survey that will open in your web browser immediately after the session. Your feedback powers our decisions about our product and how we conduct our webinars. Your voice matters to us. The last thing, while I don't intend to make any forward-looking statements, this webinar is covered by our safe harbor notice. While we're likely only showing you capabilities that exist today, please do not use only information gathered in this webinar as your source for any purchasing decisions. With that, let's get to it. Today's session is part of the Live on ServiceNow webinar series. These are curated events to keep you updated on our latest capabilities, get implementation pro tips, and connect you with a vast community of ServiceNow practitioners, administrators, and leaders. Check out the upcoming event schedule by scanning the QR code on your screen or using the link in the chat. We'll also have this slide up at the end of the webinar so you can see the QR code again if you miss it right now. Our agenda today has 4 items that we hope will kickstart your digital experience management journey. First, I'm going to provide some information about what this whole thing is and why it matters. And then I'll provide an overview of the solution that ServiceNow has built. After that, G2 is going to give a live demo of the solution so you can see it in action. You want to stick around for that part. It's pretty cool. Finally, we'll have an open Q&A, and along the way, we're going to have a couple polls to help us better understand you and where you're coming from. My name's Sean Hammer. I've been at ServiceNow over 10 years. I have more than 30 years experience in the industry. And in my role as a product manager, I work with our customers and our engineering teams to help identify the products you need and make them a reality. I'm joined today by my good friend G2.
Hey everyone, Jitu here. I'm part of product success management team here in ServiceNow, based out of Bangalore office. I'm pretty much aligned with the ITSM stuff and helping Sean to help in this today's session.
Thanks, G2. In the next few slides, I'm going to give a brief overview of some of the capabilities G2 will demonstrate live, and I'm going to move pretty quickly, so please do use that Q&A as we go along. So first up, I want to kick off the first poll. This is just to give us an idea of where you folks are and where you're coming from. G2, can you launch that?
Yep.
Thank you. Over the past 20 years, ServiceNow has helped thousands of organizations around the world transform with AI and modern systems. Companies now have broader and deeper information and control over the applications and infrastructure they depend on. Now, with the recent advancements in AI, early issue detection and deflection has increased, and incident and problem resolution is faster than ever. All of this has helped make sure end user services and the infrastructure that supports those services are operating the way they're supposed to. And that's great. We're really happy about that. But service operations teams are still under constant pressure to do more with less. Who on the call has a budget that's expanding? And that impacts the ability to remove barriers to employee productivity and especially to accelerate innovation. It also means that the leaders who are managing end user services have to still liaise between frustrated employees and overworked IT staff. And they still can't see what's going on the end user device to help understand what they can do to improve the situation. So everything we've done so far has been to ensure the availability of services from an infrastructure perspective. Another way to look at it, we made sure the knock screens are all green, but we still can't see why the end users are frustrated. And this is such a common situation that it has its own metaphor. It's called the watermelon effect. All of our metrics are green, so we're green on the outside, but users are still having a terrible experience because the issues we can't see unless they tell us about them. So it's green on the outside, red on the inside. And this brings us to this topic of digital employee experience management, or DEX. It's the process of monitoring and improving how employees interact with technology in the workplace. The goal of digital experience management is to make the use of technology as efficient, productive, and pleasant as possible. It involves identifying and addressing issues that employees may have when using their organization's software, hardware, or cloud-based tools, as well as gathering an understanding of how they feel. And that's really a new twist for us. ServiceNow's digital end user experience, which is also DEX for short, is a capability exclusive to the ServiceNow platform. We built this as part of ServiceNow. It's not a bolt-on. It is also something that doesn't interact with external systems. So there are other digital experience management products in the marketplace. Ours does not provide data to them, nor does it ingest data from them. It really is only part of the ServiceNow platform. DEX delivers valuable outcomes for several personas, and we're really just getting started with this capability. For end users, it can help remove barriers to productivity by alerting service desk agents about misbehaving apps on end user devices and initiating remediation before the end user is impacted. For service desk agents, it can reduce the MTTR by providing actionable insights about the health of end user devices during incident investigation. For IT leaders, it can reduce operating costs by allowing users to self-solve issues through desktop assistance troubleshooting capability. For software asset managers, it can reduce software spend by providing application usage data to ServiceNow's software asset management system and help identify licenses that aren't being used and could be reclaimed. Because DEX is part of the ServiceNow platform, we continue to identify new use cases across our other capabilities, and we'll build those as it makes sense in the product lifecycle. And that's where your feedback and insights are critical for us. We always say we want your feedback and we value it and we use it. We really do. Your feedback helps us decide which capabilities to build and when to build them. So let us know when you have ideas so we can work with you to explore the possibilities. Okay, so how does this all come together? What exactly is DEX on the ServiceNow platform? There are basically three components that are installed. There's a lightweight agent that runs that's installed on the end user computer, so on the laptop or desktop. This agent runs as a service and facilitates data collection on that device for the operating system, about the hardware, the installed applications, the network from the device point of view. So you can actually see what the user is seeing from their perspective. The browser extensions installed for Chrome and Edge measure SaaS application performance. It doesn't measure performance of applications that aren't defined, so privacy is ensured. The desktop assistant is an installed application that runs in the menu bar on macOS and in the tray for Windows. It provides the engagement layer to the ServiceNow instance for the end user. And then on the ServiceNow instance, we have application and device health to provide data and drill downs for the overview dashboard, and a bunch more. We have metric rules to trigger alerts using predefined rules or custom rules you create, incident enrichment using the incident investigation framework, and remedial actions using the DEX action library to push automated workflows out to end user devices. So let's talk about these personas. The first persona we'll talk about is a service desk agent. All the capability of DEX is surfaced within the service operations workspace on ServiceNow and is only visible to users who have the necessary roles. DEX shows you relevant information about users across your organization with easy to understand dashboards that allow you to click into the data to see the specifics. The end user experience overview gives you an instant sense of how many users are potentially impacted, while the heat map shows you concentrations by region. This dashboard helps service desk agents quickly understand if groups of users may be facing service, network, data center, or SaaS provider related issues. Application and device health allows DEX engineers to monitor application and device performance and usage, as well as proactively diagnose and remediate end user issues. Rules are easy to set up and end user engagement can be automatically triggered based on metric data. Built-in reports allow easy access to filtering, sorting, and data exporting. Additional reports can be created to provide the data slice that you need. Service desk agents also use incident investigation to quickly understand end user device health and reduce the mean time to resolution. So there's no need for a remote session. This allows the service desk agent to interrogate the end user device using the agent that's installed on the device without having to disrupt the end user. So that allows a very different perspective and basically a no interference. Application and device health allows DEX engineers to monitor application and device performance usage as well as proactively remediate the issues. So we can also use this to push a fix out to an end user device. And G2 will get into that and show you some of the specifics that we're talking about there. Arguably, the most important persona is the end user. That's really what this is all about. We want to make the end user's life better. So for them, we have desktop assistant application. It allows end users to perform basic diagnostics with device health and network test to find any relatively simple issues. It also provides direct access to the Employee Center without the need to authenticate when the web page is opened. Desktop Assistant provides end users the quickest possible way to engage with IT and also help them resolve their issues quickly. Our virtual agent chat client is built in to Desktop Assistant to reduce the friction of accessing catalogs, knowledge articles. And no chat experience would be complete without natural language understanding and advanced generative AI. From within Desktop Assistant, Virtual Agent uses our own generative AI, Now Assist, to help end users resolve issues, request services and items, get knowledge summaries, and basically engage with the service desk. To ensure experiences are aligned with your organization's goals and policies, customer administrators configure the engagement settings. Desktop Assistant is also the path for engagement with the service desk, both manual and automatic. Proactive engagement makes service desk agents heroes. They really have the ability to automatically notify a user of a potential problem on their device before it becomes an impacting issue, or to notify them of a broader issue with a service or a system that might be impacting them before they go searching for a fix. With automatic and manual notifications, users are ahead of the game and not really behind the curve and having their work disrupted as much. If necessary, it's also easy for an end user to open an incident using Virtual Agent within the Desktop Assistant application without having to go to the web page. The DEX administrator is the third persona. ServiceNow DEX is equipped to take safe, direct action with endpoints by utilizing out-of-box diagnostic and remedial actions. Remedial actions allow metric rule-based alerts to execute meaningful actions with or without end-user acknowledgement. From clearing a browser cache to ending a process that's gone off the rails to cleaning up disk space and a ton of other things. The DEX administrator can create new actions as well as configure metric rules. Notifications are also there, and G2 will show you more of that in just a minute. Another tool for the DEX admin is the proactive engagement workbench. This workbench allows DEX admins to see which ServiceNow out-of-box proactive engagement solutions are available and their current status. Have they been deployed? Do they need to be updated to the latest version? It also shows customized solutions so that agents can make an informed decision about which proactive engagement to deploy.
So I'm sure everyone is aware about the ServiceNow login page. So once I logged into my instance, then I just go to workspaces and open service operation workspace, which is kind of a one-stop shop for all the agent-related activities. So if I jump in here, what I can see here is a nice view, which really gives me idea about about DEX metrics. So on a high level, I can see how many active users, how many users we have active on the DEX, um, how many devices are active or connected, from where we are getting data. And if I go bottom down here, I can see, how those devices spread up in geographically. So there was a question that can we deep dive to cities? Yes, so you can go to country to cities directly from here. Um, so that's a homepage, and which really talks about, on a very high level, how my devices looks like, and I can see additional information as well. If there is any active alert, is there any users they got impacted from those alerts, or they're facing some challenges, or they are, it's kind of a degraded performance they are facing into the devices. So once we have gone through the home page, then I would like to move on to something like insights page. Oh, not here. So something like insights page. So we have all the navigation tab towards right. So we can navigate there easily by looking to the icon. So if I go to the insights page, then here as an service desk agent, I can see really bunch of information on a very high level. So at organization level, what is the status of battery health for all my devices? So I can jump in here, I can see which are the devices showing here and what's the battery health status looks like for these. So I can see one is showing moderate health, which is kind of a good indication for me. So seems like this particular user is not very happy, or not getting the performance from battery. And I can also see a couple of other supporting metrics like a battery condition, full charge capacity, uh, percentage, some of the metrics like cycle count, battery serial number, etc. So it really gives me a good amount of information, what kind of battery performance, our end users or employees they are getting. If I move on to the next one, so we have something called system compliance, which really talks about, at my organization level, how compliant my devices are, how compliant the applications which are running into those devices are. So I can come here, I can clearly see these are devices, and this is what the compliance rating is. I can also see which are the applications not compliant. Um, I can also observe there are a couple of important organization policy which are kind of non-compliant. So seems like bunch of devices, where antivirus application not running, or anti-malware services, these different applications which is related to security not enabled. So it's really a great information for me, considering compliance is really a really important piece nowadays in organizations, especially considering a lot of security issues popping up in the IT world. So if I move it further, then what else I can see is system performance. So which really a kind of a nice view where I can see at my organization level how those devices they're performing. What's their CPU usage look like? What's their memory usage or disk usage look like? So I can clearly detect here, some of the devices they are really overutilizing memory. So it's kind of a good indication for me as an service desk person. Say there might be a chances then this user start facing a slow response from computer or slow response from applications. So it's kind of a view which gives me a good idea what our users uh, can face the potential issues. Yeah, with this, I move on. Then there is something called system time, which really talks about, which are all the devices, uh, what's the boot time is showing for them. Is there any device which takes a lot of time to boot the operating system? Uh, what's the uptime for those devices? So you can see there is a device which is like running 36 days. Yeah, you can see the device age. So considering 36 days, it seems like there might be chances, a lot of important updates not installed in these devices. So it's kind of a good idea for me to, there might be chances that this particular user may face system degradation in terms of performance. So yeah, as an service desk team, this is something a best place for me to look into, or I would say I would love to start my day by just looking through these insights matrix. So once we finish the insight matrix, then if I want to jump into the other tabs, so here I can see a bunch of different tabs. I would like to start talking about devices first. So that's one of my favorite area where I have all the devices listed. And if I do see a signal from my insight report, there is something not going well with the devices, then this is what the place where I can come and I can deep dive which device is really showing indication of poor performance, or which kind of showing a degradation of performance. So I can deep dive here, and I can see here, application device like ThinkStation. So if I open any one device, then this is what the view, and I can see there is a lot of important metrics available. So you can see different sections, something about start with overview, and it goes towards applications, performance, device metrics, network monitoring. So I'll not go to each and everything, but if you see the overview perspective, I do have a lot of information related to device, which is kind of a configuration, overall device health, as well as is there any pending system updates. So it gives me an indication there is a pending updates for this device. Also, is there any alert active or incident? Bunch of information around security, um, like uh, whether this device is pending for any kind of a scan, antivirus scan, all those security related information, as well as battery and hardware. We do have something called applications here, which really give me, these are the two applications we are tracking from this device. We do have, what's the overall metrics look like in terms of CPU usage, memory usage. So I can clearly see this device is really utilizing a lot of CPU. It's kind of a good indicator for me, right? I can also see process running, and you know which are all those processes they are consuming the maximum CPU. So bunch of information. And Sean was talking earlier about remedial actions. So these are the remedial actions available for me as in service desk agent. I can literally run these actions. I can really restart the service, which I feel like if any service is consuming too much CPU, then I can really restart the service directly from here, from my SOW view. All right, good. So if I go further down, there is metrics available around applications. If I quickly see, what's the performance look like in terms of install applications. So I can see here memory usage. I can also see CPU usage. And I can also see, how this particular install application Zoom is really, utilizing various different resources from my device, CPU, memory, or number of crashes. So this is something a good insight for me to detect. There might be, chances since this device is using so much CPU, there might be chances a lot of, application crashes or some other degradation in the performance. What else I can see here? I can also see the performance of web apps on this particular device. So you can see some of the metrics, which is kind of a handily available here for me. Response time, DNS look, what's the failed web request look like? Is it like page load time very high at some point of time? So these are the good indicators how my device performing in terms of various different apps. If you go further down, then we have something device matrix performance, which really talks about how this device is utilizing memory, or what's the CPU usage look like on this particular device. How about the disk usage pattern or input output read write? Yeah, so that's really a bunch of information handy for me to detect how this particular device is performing. There is other metrics available, energy consumption. So this is something really important, especially in the world where companies they're talking about keep their carbon footprint lower, help community to really reduce the energy consumption. So we can see all this thing. We can also see various different metrics available, um, from SOC energy consumption to MBB energy consumption, bunch of different metrics around energy. And then we do have a couple of other metrics, which I'm going to skip, related to networks. We do have something called custom queries, where as an agent, I can really dig a lot of additional information directly from end user device in front of my SOW screen, which is really helping me to detect problems early. So that's about the device performance. If I quickly move on further, we have something like a section for users, where I can see how my user spread out, user names as well as their devices and their location. And I can detect if there is any alert active for any users. So I can come here and see that information. But we also have something called applications. So as part of DEX, we want to monitor different set of applications. What's the experience? What's the experience that user is getting out of these applications? So that's the section where as an service desk agent, I can see, how about one of my web-based applications performing um, to my end users. So I can come here. Uh, there is a overview section, which really gives me a good idea. 3 active alerts on this particular application. Uh, Seems like 4 incidents already raised for this application. And what's the mean time to resolve? A bunch of other application metrics. So it really talks about active users, sessions, uh, what's the average page load time, how many failed web requests, and I do have option to apply filter on various different things. So that's something on application metrics. And we do have something called trends, which really talk about month on month basis. What's a trend of this particular install the web-based application. So I can see here, month on month basis, what's the alert trend look like, what's the average page load time, month on month basis. So it gives me a lot of insights how this particular application really performing in front of my users desktop. Yeah. So that's on web-based application. We do have something like install application as well. So different set of metrics. If I go to overview, then pretty much handy information, then something on the performance side. So here I can see, what's the crash look like for that particular installed application. How frequently my application getting crashed, the number of crashes, or what's the resources utilization of this application. So I can clearly see here various different metrics, CPU usage or memory usage. So there is really a good handy metrics which I can see and detect how my end users they are really experiencing um, with this particular application called Zoom. All right. With this, I will move on further. Then we have something like tax admin section here, which really gives me a lot of freedom as an admin. So this section is really handy for admin users. They can do a lot of configuration. So if I start with application management, then this is with the section where I can come as admin. I can really add new applications that I want to monitor as part of DEX. I can simply click new application and fill in some of the information, just enable. So if I can just quickly show you how I can really fill in information for web-based applications. So for example, ADP is the application, then I can select I want to track the performance of ADP, and this is a web-based application. What's the endpoint URL or domain URL for this application, and simply just enable this button. That's it. It's super quick, easy. Similarly, if I go to say install application, then I have to just select this option. Zoom is like install application. What's the primary process look like? Uh, Simply just hit in the primary process name and then boom, just enable the metrics, and then it's really ready to start using. Start giving a lot of insights around those applications. So if I go back, what else I can do as an admin? I can really set something like a metric rules. So metric rules is really a cool way where as an admin, I can set some of the rules where I can define some threshold values. And once those threshold values breached, then DEX is really smart enough to generate alerts based on those threshold values. So if I really pick maybe one example, and I can create new metric rule as well. So just for an example, I've selected the CI, so I have option to set this metric rule for device or install application or SaaS web application. So this particular example is about the install application. So I can select that application which I want to for which I want to set the alerts or threshold values. Once I select the application, then I can set the criteria. So I want to set this metric rule to check this particular threshold value. So for example, application memory usage is less than or equal to 50, or maybe is greater than 50, then generate alert for me. So with the help of metric rules, not only I can really monitor the performance of application or devices, DEX can really help me to generate alert upfront so that I don't need to really monitor the performance. Those alert can help me to keep an eye over there, how these different metrics or how these different threshold values are performing. Yeah, so it's really a nice way to get the alert generated. I do have something called attaching the resolution, which I'll come back in a few minutes. So how simple is this? It's simply just give the name of rule and then update. So that's really a easy way to set the metric rules. Now, so that's on metric rules, and I can set those metric rules on device. I can set those metric rules on SaaS or web application. Yeah, simply you just hit the create new rule. You can add new rule over there. All right, so that's on metric rule. Then if I take example of for example, low disk space cleanups where we do something called action. So if I want to open this, so this is particular metric rule on device, and criteria looks like show me the alert once device disk use is really going beyond 90%, or once very less space available into the system disk. And I was talking earlier about the proactive engagement, or Sean was talking about proactive engagement. Uh, that's the area where I can not only generate alert, not only I can just set the metric rules. What else I can do? I can also take some proactive actions. So proactive actions like communicating with end user, say, we seems like your disk device is going high. Do you want to run through the resolution for that one? So DEX is smart enough to detect the problem early. It can also offer resolution to end user with the help of VA. So that's the area where I can set the resolution, I can set the short description, what kind of remedial action I want to offer to end user in case of device disk usage goes beyond the threshold. I can really offer self-help instructions. I can take some action, for example, cleaning up the disk on the behalf of user. So I can set those resolution. Also, I have a choice if I want to really engage with user as part of this proactive engagement resolution, or I want to run a resolution in the backend, right, without let user know. So in case if I want to engage with user, then I can come here and set my engagement settings. I can really, set if you need to take a consent from user before running this resolution. So we have all this bunch of configurations available. In case if that particular resolution failed somehow, then what's the fallback? So, DEX is smart enough to follow the fallback action. In case if disk device cleanup proactive engagement resolution doesn't work, then it can offer a really alternative solution to end user. It can create an incident on the behalf of user, or even it can connect with live agent. So that's a proactive engagement concept. Yeah. All right. So before I jump into further down, I would like to quickly touch base. So till that time, we were talking about various different options in service operation workspace, uh, how DEX matrix can be utilized by agents to detect the problems, to understand the device performance, application performance, and all. So as part of DEX, we do have offering called Desktop Assistant, which I would just like to touch base on a very high level basis. So we have something kind of a desktop assistant app. I hope it's visible now. Um, this is uh, this is something a kind of a self-help kind of solution as which is bundled as part of DEX offering. So as an end user, and this is completely for end user, right? For the employee. So if I'm an employee and if I want to really utilize the capability from desktop assistant, then I can simply click this icon at the top tray, and this is what the view look like. So as an employee, I can see there are bunch of cards available, which are really helpful for me. So as an employee, I can really check what's a device health look like for me. I don't need to really go somewhere else. Simply click here and I can see what's the storage look like, which are the applications using CPU, similarly memory. So I can really see some of the metrics by myself. I don't need to navigate anywhere else by utilizing this desktop assistant app. And also I can see computer last day started. So it seems like this is a kind of a good reminder for me. I think it's time to restart my computer. I can also deep dive into these different metrics. I can simply open the activity monitor, which will open activity monitor as part of my Mac device. What else I can see here? I do have a couple of other cards. So network tests, I can perform uh, network tests directly from desktop assistant. Also, I can open Employee Center, ServiceNow Employee Center directly from Desktop Assistant. I don't need to log into ServiceNow page, literally. I can also see outages. And these cards are kind of configurable as an organization. If your service desk, they want to add few more cards, they can add few more cards to utilize. What what specifically I want to talk about something like uh, VA capability within Desktop Assistant. And Sean was talking earlier about Now Assist. So Now Assist kind of a generative AI offering from ServiceNow. So I can utilize Now Assist capabilities within Desktop Assistant. I don't need to go anywhere else. So I can really utilize the VA conversation. I can utilize a bunch of Now Assist offerings directly into my Desktop Assistant. What else I can do is I can also, so I was talking about proactive engagement earlier. So I can also see those proactive engagement communication directly into Desktop Assistant. And see if I can trigger one of the PE action. Yeah, so here is the PE action. I got a message say you have pending notification. Would you like to view it now? So that's a capability from proactive engagement. And if I say as an end user, yes, then here's the message. Your device is running low on disk space. Would you like help to free up some space? So DEX is really smart enough to detect there is a disk space issue in your device. And not only it is kind of giving me alert, it also uh, offers some kind of a proactive help. So if I want to utilize this help, then I can see kind of a self-help instructions, how I can really clear some of the space into my device. So how cool it is. I mean, tax is doing work for me as an end user, and it is not also monitoring performance. It also offers solution. So if I'm happy with this resolution, then I can say yes. It really helped me to resolve the disk space issue, and I can just give the rating as well, how that interaction look like. Yeah, so that's one of the use case of proactive engagement. That's super cool. If you want to run maybe a quickly one more use case. Yeah, so seems like there's another message. Seems like your device has not been restarted for more than 7 days. Oh, okay. So tax is really detected. There is a there is a delay in the device restart, so which can really impact performance of my device if I don't restart device on a regular basis. So it's kind of a good reminder for me to restart your device on daily basis. So that's really a good use cases from proactive engagement. And I was talking earlier, right? So we do have a couple of proactive engagement actions available, comes as out of the box. We do have capability where you can also build a couple of different use cases as part of your organization. Yeah. So with this, I quickly move on further. As part of agent, I think I do have option to, set the applications, metric rules we just talked about. So as part of those metric rules, if any alert generated, then where I can see all these alerts will be available in something called Express List. So that's the area where I can see all the alerts generated from text. And you can see in the last 24 hours, I can see a couple of alerts related to network bandwidth. Seems like network bandwidth is saturated. I can also really filter out what are the different alerts generated. So you can see all the alerts really giving me as an desktop admin team, desk admin team, seems like there is some threshold breaches recently. So that is why I'm getting these alerts. So I will have those alerts available with me to take action. I would say proactive action. So that's a alert section. Then at the last, I would like to talk about something like proactive engagement workbench, which Sean was talking earlier. That's a one-stop shop to have all your proactive engagement actions. You can come here, you can really see different metrics available on proactive engagement actions. So you can see, which are the solutions already deployed, which are the solutions not deployed, how about the update status of those solutions. If we have new updates from those out of the box solution, then I can simply come here and update the solutions from there. I can also really filter out on different conditions. So that's a one-stop shop to maintain your proactive engagement resolutions. And imagine a situation where we have 100 of proactive engagement solutions, so it's very difficult to track all of them. I think proactive engagement workbench is going to help to maintain or manage our proactive engagement solutions. So with this, I think we have some time left. So I want to quickly touch base one more thing. So till now we were talking about how we can proactively detect the potential issues to devices, how we can help our employees or end users before even raising the concerns, right? So desktop assistant is one of the solutions which end user can utilize for self-help. They can really we can really, deflect the incident directly from a bunch of different things. But in case if imagine situation where, user, despite having desktop assistant, despite having, proactive engagement or metric rules, still user feels that there is a problem with the system. Oops. So, and despite having those options, if user still go ahead and created an incident related to their devices, so maybe example of this incident where one of our user feels that their system is running very slow, user doesn't know the reason, so simply just go ahead and create the incident. So as an DEX desktop team, as an agent team, I can open this incident, I can assign this incident to myself since I want to work on this incident, and I can utilize one of the tab here called investigation, which bring lot of metrics directly from end user's device in front of me. So that's a capability that DEX is having. So DEX can pull various different important metrics directly from end user's machine. So I can see bunch of metrics available here, right? So there is a high memory utilization, and that may be a potential reason why end user is thinking that system is running slow. So as an DEX engineer, as an agent, I can really utilize various different metrics without even talking to end user, without even taking end user to remote session. Yeah. What else I can do? I can really detect the root cause. I can also see if root cause seems like maybe a Google Chrome is utilizing a lot of CPU percentage, or there is a Microsoft PowerPoint which is utilizing a lot of memory. So I do have a flexibility to end this process directly from my SOW. Yeah, without taking a remote session with end user. So not only I can utilize this metrics to identify the root cause, I can also take some actions. Yeah. Similarly, if any, these are services running to end user device, if I want to really restart any service, I can take action directly from here. I don't need to even take end user to on a remote session. So this is the live metrics. What good thing is that I do have something like an initial matrix. So that's a matrix which was captured at the time when user was writing this incident while creating the incident, right? So as an agent, I can see this matrix. I can imagine the situation. What's the state of the end user's machine at the time when user feels that system is running slow. So I mean, it's really useful for me, right? So I can really see the system situation at the time when user was facing that, that particular system is running very slow. So that's something really cool for me as an agent. And all this is available in front of me without even taking a remote session with end user. All right.
Results. Okay. With that, that is the end of our session today. I promised earlier I'd have this back on the screen, so in case you wanted to grab that QR code, you could. As we go forward with DEX, we will continue providing more webinars. We have plans for additional webinars coming up that are going to be how-to, more deployment-oriented, how to get the best out of DEX, as well as more informational about new capabilities that are going in and what you can expect. We are always looking for your feedback. We're always grateful for your feedback. This is really what makes it different for us and what allows us to give you the best experience possible. Once I close out this session, there will be a survey that pops on your web browser. I would be extremely grateful if you take a moment and just answer that survey really quickly. It does help us understand how we're doing delivering these webinars and making sure that we're getting you what you want. So again, thank you for joining today. We really do enjoy the opportunity to hear from you and share with you. And I hope we see you all again soon at another Live on ServiceNow event.